I'm back for Dusty S's ongoing coverage of the Blast TV Austin Major Stage 2. I'm here with Lake from MAD after an absolutely insane comeback to take down OG in overtime. So, I mean, it goes without saying, insane match, insane comeback. I believe you won 6 runs in a row to force overtime, and then you won, I think, four out of five to close the match out. How are you feeling coming out of that marathon, that marathon match to stay alive in the major?
I mean, it was brutal, but I mean, we made it through. I think Elias's calling, Sin's calling was really good at the end there. We took a timeout, kind of had to figure out how they were playing because it wasn't really like how they had played in their demos from before. They had kind of changed their play style on Ancient a little bit. Maybe it was prep for us. Maybe they knew this map was coming. But from what we looked at, it looked like they were a little bit off, just like not doing what they were normally doing. So it was a bit of an adjustment for us. But at the same time, his calls there at the end after Rory's timeout, kind of like, hey, we need to do this. And then he started getting into a roll. It was good.
And for you, you had a rough opening match today against TYLOO, I believe. And so does it feel really great for you to come back and, play a pivotal role in your team's clutch? I think you ended with something like 26 to 30 kills. Incredible performance from you in your first major. How's that been for your second match?
I mean, honestly, it was kind of like I kind of realized what I needed to do. I realized I wasn't playing as confidently as I was. I wouldn't necessarily say it was nerves. Like there was no real nerves going into the TYLOO game. It was just more of like I was kind of playing CS:GO, if that makes sense. I was kind of standing still. I wasn't taking the fights that I really wanted to. I also realized that like halfway through that TYLOO game, I couldn't hear anything. So I doubled my volume because it's just back on LAN. It's just things you got to get used to. But for the TYLOO game, I just didn't shoot. Like my calls were really great on that CT train. Like I'm really proud of the way that I called on CT train. But then the RT side kind of just fell off, and that's kind of the thing that happens with us sometimes. But at the same time, we clawed back through it with this one.
With this win, we talked about this before. We sat down for this interview. If you lost, you were mathematically guaranteed to play Falcons in a best of three for elimination. Did you know that ahead of time, and are you kind of happy to avoid that fate?
Yeah, I am glad to avoid that fate. Falcons in the O2 game would have been a bit brutal, but at the same time, we weren't there. But no, honestly, we didn't know. It looked like there was a chance that Falcons was going to come back and win that game, I think. When we stopped looking, I believe it was 6-5 Linvision or Falcons on Nuke. So we were kind of like, Falcons will probably win. We weren't really too worried about it. And then we got out of the game and you were like, oh, they went 0-2, and you would have played them. That would have been brutal for an 0-2 game.
Yeah, you can say that again. When we had a chance to talk to Rory Def following your 1-0 match, he mentioned that some of the individuals need to step up, and that's kind of the main thing that was keeping you guys from winning the TYLOO game. Do you feel like that's you had a great game, Slacks had a great game. Do you feel like the team's come online now and are ready to kind of get started in Austin?
I think it's really the confidence now, especially on train. Like going to start, it was a bit rocky, to be honest. Especially for me, my aim really wasn't all that there. I was kind of entering into like hard situations as well, and I was kind of just getting pissed on. I was just getting melted. I really didn't have that much of a chance. I'm just trying to create space for the team at the end of the day on that map. But at the same time, I think that what we did on this map, it really showed like what we can do in this major. Even though it was a little bit close, maybe it went a little too far gone, but we made it. We were able to bring it back.
I mean, I wasn't nervous or anything. Don't mistake my nerves for anything else. Now the bracket kind of opens up for you. You're 1-1 heading into tomorrow. Another best of one. Maybe a more one-sided win tomorrow. How are we feeling about going back into best of ones tomorrow?
I mean, obviously, you never want to be in the BO3 in your first two games unless you win 2-0. If you go to 0-2, it's a really rough situation. Obviously, you want to try to stay in the BO1s as long as you can, on the top end of it anyways. But, I mean, going 0-2 would be kind of brutal. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad we went 1-1. Whoever we get tomorrow, I hope we show up well and play good against.
So far, the major has unfortunately been, let's be frank, a disaster for the NA teams, with all three Stage 1 teams being knocked out. Is there something when you look at M80 and compare it to the teams that failed in Stage 1, is there something different that you think will give us potentially a better showing from NA in Stage 2?
Honestly, I don't really know what the other teams are doing all that much, to be honest, but I think the amount of time we've had in Europe compared to the other teams, I think it'll change. I think Wildcard was a bit surprising, to be honest. I had them going through to Stage 2 at least, but it was kind of just one of those things where we just been playing a lot in Europe. Like, we spent 2.5 months out of the last 3.5 in Europe, whether it was Kazakhstan, Serbia for 3 weeks. Like, we've been in Europe a lot. We've been away from home just practicing. So we've been getting that experience in EU, and it's been helping a lot with me, especially growing as a player.
All right. Any closing thoughts from you? First win at a major, that's a pretty big deal. Any closing thoughts about taking your first W?
Honestly, not really anything for myself. Like, I'm proud of my teammates really pulling that win through, and I just want to say thank you to the NA fans for supporting us, even though some of you might have had us going 0-3.
All right. That's Lake from M80, 1-1, and we'll see him back in action tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.